music multiverse listeners, and welcome to Beyond Your Radio. And this is Keep It Dark. A few weeks ago, we found incredible darkness in Poland that's metastasizing like a tumor through the music multiverse into the Western culture. Who would have thought it, right? And on this episode of Keep It Dark, we're finding an interesting position of progressive alternative bleakness and genre manipulation coming from a coolly named band out of Barcelona, Spain. There's a kingdom on the rise there, a progressively positioned band that not only is finding a way to weave in and out of genres, but also tempos, as well as even vocal, non-vocal, harsh vocal. It doesn't matter. Their inception to the music world now 20 years. Which is kind of interesting. This is progressive metal. You got post-metal, alternative metal, progressive rock, avant-garde prog with levels of like instrumentalism, hints of looping they've even got going, industrial, and even ambient. Soundscapes, interludes of electronica, even areas of black metal and grindcore, if it has a dark functionality and flow. Welcome to the Obsidian Kingdom on Keep It Dark. In this darkness, there is no classification. There's no code of conduct. Genre labeling, no, they won't allow it, even in 20 years of this establishment. And Obsidian, the only remaining member from 2005, actually, is Ryder Omega. I'm not sure if that would be his real name, but I'm going to guess not. If it is, Ryder was extremely well named by his family, even the last name. You know, how do you get Omega? That's kind of cool, right? The only person who's more that they're pissed about is Alpha. Anyway, vocals, you know where the hearts are buried. You know where the sounds are going to go. And the weaving of their version of darkness then... it's different than just in 2020. So before we get in there, let's make sure we get into this. You know, it's just, you got me and I love to go dark. There's no question. But joining me tonight, the Grateful Dude took on this task. You know, you get another perspective in this kingdom's approach. But before we deliver you to the Obsidian Kingdom, let's make sure, first of all, that you are subscribed. If you are not to the channel already, you should be. There's a lot more perspectives to be had. Unknown Sundays, album review Saturdays, panelists' favorite shows, catalog review shows, along with many others. You got to comment. You know, let us know. Maybe it's not here. You're going to do it in the dark. Ooh, that sounded crazy. It doesn't matter. I love to read the comments. I get involved in that. And hey, start doing it now before I get thousands of comments and I just click the like button. Wouldn't that be a great curse to have? Too many.
It will happen.
It'll happen. Of course, if you like what we're doing, you click the thumbs up button and the algorithm gets happy. You know, you do it, you do it, you don't. The Barcelona music scene in 2005. I don't think Barcelona was particularly ready for this. Not this particular record, but just Obsidian Kingdom in general, right? So back at that time, you got Arcade Fire and all these indie rock artists kind of having their way. If you want to know who was out there in that, you go to the Primavera Sound Festival. That'll give you an idea, all right? So currently in the membership here of the Obsidian Kingdom, and I'm an honorary member now that I've listened to every album several times. And the Grateful Dude's an honorary member, although he could have his license revoked after tonight. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ryder Omega, all right, and he has a middle initial G. I don't even want to know what that stands for. guitars, vocals from 2005 to present. Then Ojedi Mordeza the second on drums right now. He came in on 2010. 2015 we got Rex Oral, and he's the bass guitar. Jade Riot Cut. What? Oh, no, sorry, Jade Riot Cull. There's no T there. Keyboards, 2016, and Viral Vector Lips on guitar in 2019, just before on this record. So he's only on this record, I think. And if that's a he, could be a she, could be a them. I don't know. Obsidian Kingdom has several records. I'll just say so. They started off in 2022 with Mantis, Mantiis. Then it was Torn and Burnt in November of 2013. This is a remix of some of those songs, and I gotta say, that's something to be talked about. A Year with No Summer. Whew, can you imagine that? Well, wait a minute. Maybe where you live, you could.
Beeping machines, the joys of lighting flashes, mindless stars of a modern age, wanting a dream. Forever.
March 11th of 2016, and Meat Machine, which just came out in 2020, and that was in September. Now, most of those final records, those last couple records, I think are under, it's a tricky name record company. Oh, I can't think of it. Season of Metal? Season of Mist. Season of Mist. Sorry that I had to look over it. That's a tough one to remember. So here's this band that has this immediate connection to hardcore, has a connection to progressive, because you've got guitar, you've got interladen keyboards, and you've got this vocalist who has this sheen, but then instantly, in some cases, you've got growling, harsh vocal, and then even female vocal in there in the mix in a couple of the albums. So lots of things going on in here. The style of it bends completely. If we talk about the first album in 2012, that had a lot more, I don't know, construct, build up, not as harsh in its delivery, but it's still bleak, anguish, and how the songs are delivered, as well as the lyrical content. Now, the Grateful Dude doesn't generally live in this quarter of the music multiverse, so I started off. I gave Obsidian Kingdom because that was the record that I was given, that I bought from the record store, based on the progressive metal and progressive alternative. This band, okay, if you want, I don't want to classify, but I'm saying most of this has an alternative rock standpoint, whether it's a Faith No More kind of thing, or it's a Helmet kind of thing, or it's an Alice in Chains kind of thing. There are pieces of all that in everything that they've
Doom
done.
metal.
Yeah, what was it?
Doom
Metal. Yeah, and there are doom places of this too, right? So you get into this. You got The Edge, The Pump, Mr. Pan. I mean, come on, Mr. Pan. The minute I saw that title, I knew that I was going to be listening more intently to that one, because is that Mr. Peter Pan? Is it, and we're talking about Obsidian, and that's got Greek lore to it, right? And power to it. So here you are, and I give you this, and you're a good sport and all that. And I know this wasn't complete garbage and all that. This is musicianship with involved. But tell me about your experience in this.
Well, as the band proclaimed for themselves, they're unclassable.
Yes,
unclassifiable.
Mm-hmm.
It if you listen to the album you have up there right now, every song is a little bit different. It's like almost like listening to different bands.
Yeah.
Almost. Because like the first song is doom metal, boom, 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 boom. Second song is a soft progressive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't know what you're getting until you listen to it. You know,
Yeah.
you can't classify the band, which I find very interesting. Um, they are grouped into heavy metal. There's no question they're heavy
Yeah.
metal, but they switch it up a little bit from prog to alternative to instrumentals.
Yeah.
They give you, for the person who likes heavy metal, this is the album. Jeff would like this album.
Mm-hmm.
Um, me um, I've listened to it 4 times, I guess, all of them, and there's parts I like and there's parts I don't.
So when the
It,
parts that you like, what has to be in there to you? Would you rather have no lyrics and let the music go, or would you want what do you want?
I like them both. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
in their case, I like their attempt at metal electronics.
Okay. Yeah.
That was very cool. Um, but as I said before, and I will stick to my guns on this, they're unclassifiable. They
Mm-hmm.
are truly are. I couldn't think of any name to give them. You know,
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. And it was kind of like a surprise to me because when you get into the prog classifications, usually you can these bands tend to fall into an emulated cycle. Like they're gonna find their genesis, their yes, and hang in there, right? They might have a song that's an outlier, but they won't have a whole parts of songs that are complete outliers and other songs that are even outlier than or more outlier and then outlayered than that. That's what caught me off guard, right? I mean, all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute. I had to look down to make sure that I was well, first of all, with this, I had it playing a CD, right? So I knew that it was all them, right? But if you were on a search engine or anything like that, or you're in a music service,
you
you could
think
actually
you change
be
channels,
yeah, you could have either changed channels or the album ended and it just picked the next thing, right?
right?
Yeah, and
And
when
that's
I
what I thought because I'm listening to a music service, and I go, wait a minute, I hadn't checked to make sure it was the same album.
yeah, yeah. I'm it's this thing of so everybody when we do these shows, we talk about why this kind of music. So alternative anguish, it's an interesting beast. I think when people think of like great alternative anguish bands, they think of Soundgarden, right? They'll think of early Pearl Jam, where those were coming from and that it grew into something else. But I think Obsidian Kingdom understands their anguish. They understand their concern within it, and they utilize a variety of avenues to get there and melodies and even dismelodies. I don't even know if that's a word, but technically it is because there's some things here like it wants to be a melody, but it's not. It's something fishier, darker, a genre position that's outside alternative, but it still has that slight link everywhere around it. When we're thinking about this band, I'm thinking about, like I said, a little bit Alice in Chains. I do think of some of the electronica bands that hit that, like, it would be like, not electronica, but industrial electronica, like Skinny Puppy. But there's no scream vocal articulation. This is pretty leveled vocal, even when it's growlier, it's still meant to be. And then there's a female that comes in on some of the albums too. Um, they're not looking for categorization. There's no question about that. They're very vehement about that. And I think in some cases, when you look at this and you look back to rider, you're going to go and say that's what his intention always was. And maybe the change in band members is exactly what happens because he doesn't want to be classified. And I think people, even in our shows, they like to be classified. Jeff Crichton wants to be in that wheelhouse of what he likes. And if you're a musician, some of them are just comfortable where they are, and they don't like to step into other things like that. And I know that that writer definitely has. Um, they're looking for a musical avenue to move their emotion forward. They're going to move it, even if it's bleak, harsh, industrial, or even electronica driven as need be. Now, when I say this electronica driven, I want everybody to realize that the album that if you want to start into this, I don't know if it's the start. I just thought the most accessible album on this list is the remixes because it takes everything back layered, right? And I think you get, I don't even know if I can't remember. I don't think there were vocals. Maybe, yeah, there were. I just think it's more haunting. It's better delivered. The production quality just seems seamless. And it's a start to finish listen scope that works best. Mantis, I didn't hear that first. I heard Meat Machine. Is that what you went with first, right? Yeah, and I worked my way back. I think if I would have started with Mantis, I would have had a different position as moving forward, like starting from the beginning and then getting to where they are with Meat Machine. I do not know whether the band has anything on the horizon. I would assume they're probably, being 2020 pandemic, right? It makes it very difficult. And they went on the road in 2021, so we got to be close to something here, I would think. And I didn't really look this up prior to it. It's been a busy week, but anything final for you on this?
Just that the musicianship of the players was excellent. Yeah. And the production was not bad, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. There were, and there's intentional stops and stuff, and they're
Right.
always like, does it work? Is that? I understand it happens, and it's got a place in it, but sometimes I think about it and I go, is that an editing mistake? Is that? But that's not bridge work. Bridge something, make it get there, right? But sometimes the drop is the drop. I get it. This Barcelona band is uncategorizable, and they wish to stay that way. And I think that works beautifully for them. And I think another trip to the Obsidian Kingdom is worth it when they come up with their next record. Or if you've never been to the Obsidian Kingdom's world, you should explore it, especially those that I talked about with the Alice in Chains, the Helmet, the Faith No Mores, the Nine Inch Nails. This has a lot of avenues that you can explore, especially the electronica side too. You will be somewhat stunned as to
if you guys like heavy metal, give this a whirl.
Yeah. I'll thank the Grateful Dude for taking the trip. We will be back in a couple weeks. I'm not going to say the name of the band at this point because another band has entered that might actually come on the show. So we'll see where we are and where that lies. But we'll see you in 2 weeks regardless for Keep It Dark. We're on the web at beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, of course. Articles, videos, that podcast. We're working on it. It's all about albums, bands, artists like Obsidian Kingdom will not be categorized no matter what. That's why we do it. Go Beyond Your Radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. Thanks for watching and happy listening.